G'day everyone, Tony here from Liana James Hair and Beauty. Whoop, whoop. Hope everyone's having a very nice Saturday night. Hello Catherine. Hello Lena. Tonight I'm just going to cover a little bit of personal development stuff really. I'm not going to go into too much hairdressing. I'll answer any hairdressing questions, but it is hairdressing related in the sense of what it takes to do an amazing job in hairdressing, but what it takes to do an amazing job in business, really, and trying to be the best person that you are. G'day Andy as well. Like I was saying, tonight we're talking purely about good attitudes, good habits, and how to get the best out of your day. But we're doing Live for 30 at Liana James, so over the next few days, and a few weeks I should say, we'll talk all things hairdressing and a bit of personal development as well. We'll cover, let's go through some of the things that I've discussed before. We will also cover things like hairdressing myths. I think that will be a fun episode. One of the episodes is going to be about all my different hairstyles. Yes, I didn't always have a shiny melon to rock, certainly not. So there'll be a few different things that we cover. We're covering all our different products. If you haven't seen our salon or extensive range before, this is the De Lorenzo colour book here. Pretty exciting stuff. I'll go through all of our range, why we use them, and what's the best stuff in the marketplace. And all the two different brands that we mainly use, which is Behave and De Lorenzo, which we've already covered a little bit earlier. We'll get a few experts on here as well, which will be a lot of fun. And tonight, what I'm going to also do is I'm thinking of whoever sort of stays around and whoever asks me the most amount of questions, I'm going to give a free treatment for them to take home. So I'll mention that a few times tonight. So whoever asks the most questions on tonight's episode, they will get themselves a special gift. Personal development, importance for keeping a schedule and good habits. So over the last little while now, I've been waking up really early and trying to go to sleep really early. I've also been reading, and I've also been doing some exercise. I've started this thing called the 75 Hard. If you want to Google it, just Google it, you'll see it there. It's actually helped me quite a bit. But the most important part has actually been the habits. You know, the things that we do on a day-to-day basis and help us improve. And I haven't just applied it to my personal being, so reading a book, for example, or going and doing some exercise. It's also about being consistent at work. You know, making sure that I'm here on time, making sure that I'm preparing things for the girls before the day starts, making sure that the stock is here on a regular basis and has been ordered appropriately. It's all those little things, but these things take time. You know, you really need to take time to actually map it out and plan it out. And my suggestion to everyone out there in this crazy world is ultimately don't do it all at once. Like if there's a lot of things that you need to try to accomplish, don't go for it all at once. You're just setting yourself up for some serious failure, in my opinion. Some people maybe have real good, amazing capabilities, go for it. But in my experience, it's been slow, small increments. You know, for example, a month or so ago, I started push-ups. And now I have push-ups as my daily routine. I do push-ups all the time. I've also started doing pull-ups, for example, and adding different things to my repertoire. But in hairdressing, for example, or in the salon, I'll come to the salon every single morning and make sure all the sheets are printed out for the girls for their histories of people that are going to come in. I'll make sure that I write them, key information to get them through the day, so that they're focused and driven to get the best outcome in the salon. And I think that's a very important thing to do. It's easy to just focus on a single thing, like this person's come in and I've got to get them as an outcome. And that's sometimes a bit hard and opaque to actually map out how am I going to get the best out of this service by building on my repertoire of skills, my repertoire of habits before I even get to the person that I'm serving. And this is every single day doing things, getting up, being prepared, focusing on what you need to be focusing on. So I'm a big believer and promoter of trying to get into good habits and applying them and making sure that you stick to them. Now, like I said, I want people to ask me questions if there's questions for them to ask. Later on in the episode, we will go into our funniest and most enjoyable segment, which is what's hot and what's not. Tonight, I believe we have the 1990s, which is going to be pretty cool. But like I said, for tonight, it's all about trying to get into good habits. But there's good habits out there for our clients as well. You know, we need clients and want clients that are going to get into good hair habits. You know, regular haircuts to make sure that their split ends and breakage doesn't happen. Making sure that they come in to get their hair color looking good. You've got to remember that hair color out there is actually our work on display. It's like an advertising board walking around the streets. And for us to be successful, we need to make sure that that you're out there looking your best and operating the best. So, you know, I think it's very and critically important that you're coming and making it a habit to come and see us in a cycle that works for you. You know, we often recommend that you might come in every 4, 6, 8, 12 weeks, you know. Everything can work differently. Everyone's budget's different, so we work around that. But, you know, you just don't want to be coming to see us once every 5 years or something like that, or letting a colour wash out and not really look the best that it possibly can. Making sure that you're buying the right type of products to service your hair and look after your hair as well, which is another critical point. But on habits and making the best out of your life, I think what I have learned also in recent history, but over time as well, is compartmentalizing all these different things. So if you have 7 or 8 different things that you're trying to accomplish, my suggestion is that you just break them down into small little tasks. Everyone says this and makes it, you know, like it's a very common thing that's said out there. But it is important that you do that. The more you break it down into little different pieces of the puzzle, the easier it will be for you to do. And if you just do it on a weekly basis, and if you actually do it bit by bit, even just a small amount every day, that's what's going to help you have a large bunch of skills and abilities to help build yourself as a person or your business or whatever it is, your relationship, etc., etc. It's not easy, and there's always things where you can improve on, even though you might think that you're doing okay with it. So very important that you acknowledge that. Also critical that not only that you acknowledge it, but that you then start putting in steps and mapping out certain things to make sure it's happening. Like around my mirror at home at the moment, I have a whole bunch of stick-it notes on different things that I need to accomplish and sort of time frames that I'm trying to hit some of these larger goals, but just making them that little bit smaller so I can try to actually hit them over a longer period of time and making it habitual that I'm constantly looking at this and improving on this. So, with that said, I am now going to skip across to talking a little bit about crazy hairstyles. Our segment is what is hot and what's not. And look, for those who are out there that were in the 90s or around in the 90s, this will be entertaining. For those that are born a little bit after, possibly still entertaining because you would have seen some sitcoms or whatever it is in that period. For those that are really, really young, probably not that interesting. And those that are a little bit older, well, you know, you probably claim that either the 70s or the 80s were the era for you, but it's the 90s now that we're going to go through, and in my opinion, was probably one of the better decades to be around in. So, first up on the screen here we have our very loved Britney Spears, the blunt cut. Very popular in the 80s. Probably one haircut that it sort of reminds me of is Penny from Big Brother. Big Brother. Big Bang Theory, I should say. Sorry about that. I think that's a pretty cool. Style, personally. I can see a bit of those layers around the face. I think Penny had a little bit more layers and a bit more choppy, but it had that really blunt finish, that blondie blunt finish. Predicting in the 1990s that there was long unwashed hair on the boys. I reckon that's pretty accurate. I wonder if we have any of the blokes' hairstyles here. If we don't, we'll skip over to them, Andy. I think that'll be a lot of fun. But Brittany, fantastic. Very sad to see what's happening with her at the moment. Our very lovely Drew Barrymore. I don't know where this really got inspiration from. That short bangs. I mean, Drew Barrymore's a stunning lady, so she gets away with probably a lot of different hairstyles. She's got that very cute girl next door look, I guess, and these sorts of hairstyles with a really short fringe certainly has that sort of impact. So nice hairstyle, curly, messy, and showing a lot of forehead. When you've got a forehead as flat as that, it can really pull off. I don't know what Gwyneth is thinking and why she's made the cut, but who cares? Whips of hair. This is where braids and stuff started becoming pretty cool, and putting your hair up really messy and without any actual structure. I think this is probably it. Am I a fan? Maybe. But I wouldn't necessarily be bringing this back into style anytime soon. You can see a bit of clips there as well. Weird. High braids. We just talked about braids. Definitely a thing in the 90s. I don't know that it was widespread. Maybe it was in the States, but certainly not around here. The crimped hair. I mean, really, this was sort of remnants of the 80s, sort of seeping into the 90s. It was probably dressing up for an 80s lookalike, potentially, or event. So I would associate crimping with the 80s, personally. I'm not necessarily a crimp fan, but looks okay, pretty cool. Depends if you're a cool person yourself. The beach curls. This is where the messy look started, I reckon. Thank you very, very much, Sarah Jessica Parker. Really appreciate you bringing this in. The curls are good. I don't mind curls whatsoever. I don't know that the messy thing is a good or bad thing. I haven't quite made my mind up on that, to be honest with you. So, nonetheless, it was where I think it really sort of started. I know it was messy and big in the 80s, but this was a different messy. This was I can't be bothered. I'm just going to have a little bit of fun, messy curl. Well, what can I say? Not a fan. This also reeks a little bit of a bit of 80s spillover. Not a massive fan. A bit too big and bulky for me. I don't mind the layers. Even the fringe is okay, wispy, but it's just too big and all over the shop. Thumbs down for me. Don't bring it back, please. Short pixie Winona Ryder. Always was a massive fan of Winona Ryder. I thought she was extremely good looking. And look, the haircut, short, spiky, messy, wispy, all over the shop is quite fun. So thumbs up to her. But I'm actually going to have a little bit of fun here and look at 90s boys haircuts, because I reckon that would have been pretty fun. There we go. There's 23 of them, but I'm not going to go through all 23 because I reckon it'll be boring. Wow. Well, we did have a little bit of the taste of the Justin Timberlake, didn't we? And Johnny Depp here on the right, bit long, very boy bandy, very boy bandsy type of a hairstyle. This sort of tipped hair was massive. I mean, I tipped my hair quite a few times. Everyone's just going to have to wait for that episode where we talk about all the different things that I had in my hair, which is pretty fun. Here we go. In Sync and a bit of Backstreet Boys inspiration there. Definitely massive. That sort of part in the middle is not so big anymore, which is kind of cool. The bowl cut. Like, I don't know why someone would have thought that this kind of looked good. It's very Aston Kutcher-ish as well. I guess on certain people it will work, but the bowl cut is just not a good thing at all. George Clooney, what a stunning man this man is. So, short sides. It's almost military style haircuts here. There was no fades or anything like that. It was just short clippers sides, spiky messy on top. Interesting. We know that fades are massive at the moment. Yes, who can go without Leo DiCaprio, hey? Everyone enjoyed this boyish and young, good-looking, quiffy, sort of long, just below the earlobe haircut. I think everyone who ever had a few follicles would have loved to have a style like this. And again, everyone with the looks like a tip cap type thing. I don't think foils were massive in men's hair or are in men's hair, which is pretty, David Beckham, boom, same thing, same deal. That sort of parted hair, bit messy, long, wispy. I don't know what you would call it, blonde highlights. They've put blonde highlights there, but to be honest with you, it's 100% a tip cap. I guarantee you that was not used. Foils were not used in that whatsoever. And our last one for the day, I will go through. How can we not go to this man here? Look at this cool dude rocking it. All he's missing is a spliff coming out of his mouth there, to be honest with you. Smoke weed every day. Only a few people can pull this off who have it. I suppose people can grow their hair long and ask for a really tight perm. Just won't sit the same, to be honest. Am I a fan? Yeah. The right person it sits on? Absolutely thumbs up. Thank you all for watching tonight. I hope you had a little bit of fun. Andy, I'm going to make sure that you get a treatment. I'll probably private message you because I did say that I'd give a gift away for the people that commented and asked questions that I thought were good. And Andy, you win the prize for today. Thank you, everyone, and we'll be back tomorrow. I don't know what time, to be honest with you, but we'll have a little bit of fun in the salon. Keep joining and keep supporting us. Appreciate it. Remember, www.ljhair.com.au for all the things that you need ordered to your house, and our number 95716622 or 0499 006 331. Make an appointment. Come and see us. We'll talk all things hair tomorrow. Bye.